for joining. Thank you everyone for joining in. My name is Erin Thompson. I'm from the Social Security Office, housed in Toledo. I cover Northwest Ohio and Southeast Michigan for Social Security. I have been with the agency over 20 years. I have been doing the public relations for a little over 17. So we're going to start in just a few minutes, letting people log in still. I can see the participant count continues to go up. So we'll just give another minute or so for people to log in. While people are logging in, just a few things about myself. I am from Northwest Ohio. I've lived here my entire life. And we do have an ASL interpreter on, Daniel. We're all very jealous of Daniel. He is logging in from Las Vegas today, where it is a chilly 40 some degrees, but that would feel very nice for all of you that are tuning in from either Northwest Ohio or Southeast Michigan. So the protocol of this today, we're going to cover a lot of things Social Security. It's kind of like the Cliff Notes version, everything you wanted to know about Social Security, a little bit on every topic. We're going to talk about pandemic protocols, how to replace that Social Security card, how to get into your My Social Security account. And we will also discuss any questions that you do have. So feel free while the webinar is going to put your questions either in Facebook Live, or if you're tuning in on Zoom, you can put them either in the chat or in the Q&A. We will monitor those throughout, and then we will make sure that we answer all of those questions for you as well. So again, thank you for tuning in to Social Security. The 2022 updates. Again, my name is Erin Thompson. I'm the Public Affairs Specialist from Northwest Ohio and Southeast Michigan, here to give you an overview of Social Security and to help you with your questions and your Social Security needs. So we will wait for the presentation to show up. Everybody can see. Okay, so Social Security, we like to say that we are with you through life's journey. At the beginning of your life, you are generally issued a Social Security number. The purpose of that number is to track your working wages so that when you are eligible for a benefit from our agency, we pay you based off what you have worked and paid in. A lot of people think that Social Security is based off of a few years of work. Actually, it is based off of your top 35 years of employment. So when you're thinking retirement, it is always your top 35 years of employment for a job that you paid into the Social Security program. Just trying to advance the slides here. Let's see if it's going to work. All right. All right, so one of the newer things that Social Security has done in recent years is we have added the ability for people to go online and access their own personal Social Security account. I would encourage everyone that is tuning in today to do this as long as you are age 18. So that's a basic requirement. You have to be age 18, have access to email, and have a US mailing address, those three things. So why would you want to access your Social Security account when you're not receiving any money from Social Security? You can utilize it to view what your eligibilities actually are. Have you worked long enough? What are your estimates for retirement, disability if you would pass away? What could we pay your survivors? So that's very important, but also that if you ever lose or misplace your Social Security card, you can actually order a replacement online, totally free, right through the account. That saves you both a trip to the Social Security office, and you don't have to send in a bunch of documents. Now, right now, for the most part, Social Security offices across the country are handling our business and your business by telephone, online, by mail, by fax. So in large, they're not open for the walk-in in-person service. And I do not have an update on when that will change. But rest assured, when it does change, we will make sure that everyone is aware. But the vast majority of people actually have no interest in physically coming to a Social Security office because you can take care of the majority of your business. Almost all business can be taken care of either by telephone, by mail, or online, or by faxing us documents. And that really alleviates the need of coming, sitting, waiting, and possibly not having the right documents. So if you're listening today or you're tuning in and you're not receiving Social Security benefits yet, and you're over the age of 18 and you say, what else could I do in that My Social Security account? Well, that replacement Social Security card, that's a big one. Definitely if you need a replacement. Is it easy to replace your card online? It is so easy. I will be the first to admit I am not super great with technology, but I was able to get into my Social Security account. It's pretty easy. You create a username and a password, you answer some questions. I was able to get in and order my replacement. From the time I ordered the replacement Social Security card until it showed up in my mailbox, it was a total of 9 days. Now, if you mailed in your documents to a Social Security office, or in previous times when you would walk into a Social Security office, it would take about 2 weeks to get that replacement card. So it's actually more efficient, and you can do it from the privacy of your own home if you have internet access. Other things that you can do if you're not receiving Social Security benefits, you can check the status of your application, or if you have filed an appeal with us, you can check your status there. If you have a hearing pending, it will actually list when your hearing has been scheduled, who's handling it, what time, all of those details. If you need a proof of no income, some people need a proof of no income or proof that they have filed for Social Security, but they're not yet receiving that benefit. You can get that right through your online portal account. Every person has their own portal. So if you're husband and wife, you would each have your own login. You would each have your own tool. You can look at that Social Security statement. So you used to, depending on your age, if you used to receive something in the mail about 3 months before your birthday, it was your benefit letter, your benefit statement that would say, this is what Social Security will pay for you at 62, at your full retirement age, at age 70. This is all the data that we have. You can now get that almost 24 hours a day at socialsecurity.gov. Now, the system does go down for routine maintenance every night between 1 a.m. and 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But other than that, you can go online every day if you want and check to see what your estimates are. If you work with a financial planner, this is very, very helpful for you to have that pulled up and printed out so that they can assist you with your future financial plan. I would encourage everyone to go online yearly, once a year. Set yourself a reminder, maybe right before your birthday, and go online and check and make sure that your account is accurate. Make sure that your earnings are being posted correctly. And if you notice something that doesn't look right, that would be an indication to get in touch with Social Security. So if you made $75,000 in 2020 and it showed that you made $20,000, that would be something that would be, you would want to get in touch with us. Or if you did work 1 year and it shows 0 earnings, that would also be something you would want to get in touch with Social Security. When you're starting to receive money, so anytime you're receiving Social Security after the age of 18 until 116, if you do live that long, you can order a replacement Social Security card still through your account. You can order that replacement Medicare card if you've ever lost that. Those Social Security and Medicare cards are paper cards. And so sometimes they get a little worn out. You can order that replacement right online. You can start or change direct deposit if you are going to change direct deposit though. Many times it is about a 2-month delay. So we do encourage, if you change direct deposit for your checks to be deposited to, we would encourage you to keep that old account open until the new account starts receiving those deposits. Social Security will be sending out 1099s for all individuals that receive regular retirement, regular disability, regular widowers benefits. If you receive regular Social Security, 1099s start to issue about the end of this month. So the end of January through about mid-February. So if you need to file taxes, watch for those to come in the mail, but you can also access those right online in your Social Security account. And those should start posting very quickly to your Social Security account. I would say probably within the next week if they are not already showing. You can check your benefit payments, benefit history for the last 24 months right in your account. And again, if you need that verification letter for proof of income, for housing, or any type of assistance programs, you can pull that right up through your account and print that and send that off to whoever needs it. If you were receiving Social Security disability or SSI, you can actually report wages through your My Social Security account. So there's a lot of things, and we continue to add things all the time. So I encourage people, check the account at least once a year, unless you need to use it more often. But there are a lot of things to do. Now, if you have already set up your account prior to September of 2021, you set it up the old way and you can get in. You may forget your username and password because that happens. You can easily reset it. If you are logging in today, you're listening today, and you're saying that sounds like a really great thing to do, but I have never set up my Social Security account online, we actually have a couple of other ways to get in. So you still go to our website at socialsecurity.gov, still go into the My Account section, but you'll log in through either login.gov or through the ID Me program. So there's a couple of other ways. We have added additional ways to be a little bit more user-friendly for individuals, because previously only about 50% of the public were actually able to get into their accounts. Now, by adding in the login.gov feature and the ID Me, we are running a lot better rates of return. If you do have questions on setting up your online account, you can contact your local office. The easiest way to reach your local office, it would be to go online at socialsecurity.gov/locator, and then you put in your zip code. It will pull up your local office. All local offices are open from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. And then you can contact us through our 800 number, which we'll have posted, but you can contact us through that from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday. So just some basics on getting into your account. Again, we can talk about that more with it during the question and answer period. But a lot of people are always wondering, how do I even qualify for Social Security? It is very basic. For Social Security retirement, you only need 10 years of very part-time work, which is equivalent to 40 credits or quarters of coverage. When I say very part-time work, you will notice on this slide, this year in 2022, you would need to earn $6,040 from your job where Social Security taxes were taken out to count as 1 year towards your minimum of 10, or to give you 4 credits towards your minimum of 40. So 40 credits is the magic number. Also will show through your My Social Security account if you have the credits. It will tell you if you don't have the credits. It will tell you how many you are short. And if it shows dollars figures, you should be good to go. So 40 credits, 10 years of work. You do need to be at least 62 to qualify for Social Security retirement. So minimum age for retirement continues to be age 62. Now, what if you didn't earn $6,040 this year? What if you earned $1,700? Then you would have one credit this year. So just be aware, if you needed to earn a credit, you look at your statement, you have 39 credits, make sure that you earn that 1510 between January 1st and December 31st of 2022. Then you could contact Social Security to file for benefits. Right now, people can file for retirement either online at socialsecurity.gov or by contacting their local office between 9 and 4 Monday through Friday, or by contacting our 800 number and setting up a telephone appointment. So just be aware, those are your options. And we do tell you, you can contact us 3 to 4 months before you want something and it's realistic. So if you're on the call today and you're saying, I'm 55, but I want my benefits at 62, that's great. 3 months before 62, you would want to contact us either by phone or online. Now, this chart just lets you know what your full retirement age is. So full benefits are somewhere between age 66 and age 67. If you were born 1960 or later, your full benefit age for unreduced benefits is age 67. That is for retirement benefits. So retirement benefits, I'm born after 1960. My full benefit age is 67. I can take my benefits as early as 62. However, it will be a permanent reduction of 30% for the rest of my breathing life. Now, if I'm married and my spouse is eligible for a retirement benefit off of my earnings history, they can take their benefits at 62. But a lot of people mistakenly think you can qualify for half of your husband or wife's benefit. You can, but not at age 62. The 50% rate is only for someone that is not eligible for anything else off of their own earnings record, and they wait until their full retirement age. So if I'm 62 and I don't have a work history, but I'm eligible off of my husband's earnings record, I would be eligible for about 35%. Now, in the event that you were born between 55 and 59, you will see that the full retirement age is a sliding scale of 66 and 2 months to 66 and 10 months. We did have a question about Social Security cards for children. So if you do need a card for a child, it is not an opportunity to do that through the online portal because the child obviously is under the age of 18. What you would need to do if you need to replace a card for a child is there's a couple of things. It kind of depends on the child's age as to what we accept, and does the child need to sign the document or not. If the child is a baby or age 5 or age 10, pretty easy. You fill out the paper SS5 application, which you can get right from our socialsecurity.gov website. You would mail that in, or you could drop it off if your office has a drop box between the hours of 9:30 and usually about 3 p.m. Monday through Friday. In addition to that paper application that you fill out, and the parent that resides with that child signs and dates, you would need to send in a form of ID for that child. Now, what kind of ID can we accept for a child? We can accept a recent medical record. That would be a shot record or something from their doctor's office that shows the child's name and the child's date of birth. The document has to be signed, dated, and stamped by that doctor's office. Now, if you don't have anything recent, if the child is in school, of school age, then you can get something from the school, maybe a grade card or some recent document showing that the student is enrolled at that school. It has that child's name, it has that child's date of birth, and it is signed, dated, and stamped by the school, or it is on the school's letterhead. Those are two of the easiest, but we do have a variety of documents that we can accept for ID for the child at socialsecurity.gov. And look under Social Security card, and it actually lists based on the age group of the child what we can accept. Now, We also, when we're getting a replacement card for a child, we have to show ID for the parent. So what can we accept? Because most people are not real enthused about sending in their driver's license, state ID, or US passport. And I probably wouldn't want to send that either. So we can accept as ID right now during the pandemic. We can accept a variety of things, just like we can accept for a child. So a common document would be a recent medical record from any doctor's office or hospital or clinic or mental health facility that has that parent's name and date of birth on it, and it is signed, dated, and stamped. We can also use a life insurance document, or we can utilize insurance cards sometimes. Again, there's a whole list of items. Once we are off the call today, I will make sure that I send the Ability Center the full list, and so that you can share that with everyone that is on the call today. And again, sending to your local office, you can send by US mail. If you are sending in an important document, something that costs money to replace, I encourage people to utilize certified mail through the post office or FedEx or UPS. You also have the option to prepay for an envelope to come back that same way, and we will send it back in that prepaid envelope to give you some peace of mind. Now, if it's a medical record or something like that, maybe not, but if you're sending in a driver's license, a state ID, or a US passport, I would probably spend the extra couple of dollars to make sure that it's going to come back to me that same way. So great question on kids. And again, Social Security cards, they generally, from the time that you order it till you get it back, it's about through online, it's about 10 days or less. If you mail to the local office, they're running around a 20 to 30 day turnaround, depending on the Social Security office. So back to retirement, just real quickly, the important part of this is to know you can take your money as early as 62. You can delay up until the age of 70 for even additional benefits. The choice is yours. But if you take your benefit early, there will be a permanent reduction that never goes away. So if I start my money at 62, it will be a permanent reduction of 30% for the rest of my life. This is just a quick chart to show you the difference in taking your money early versus taking your money late. You will notice here a person that turned 62, if their benefit amount was $750 a month, if they delayed until the age of 70, they would receive an extra 32% more from Social Security. Now that is for people born between 1943 and 54. For those individuals that are born later, like those born 1960 and later, it's about 24% more that you would receive if you delay until the age of 70. Again, the choice is yours. Everybody's situation is different. We do encourage people to make an informed decision on Social Security. With Social Security retirement benefits, it is a pretty permanent decision. So if you change your mind later, if it's less than 12 months that you've received a monthly check, you can change your mind. You could withdraw your application, you return all of the money to us paid in full. We can make another decision for you later. But if you took your money at 62 and at 67, you said that wasn't a good idea, I want to redo things, unfortunately, you will not have that opportunity. Looks like we have another question coming in. If you only qualify for the spousal benefit, can you take that before your spouse begins Social Security? If it is your current spouse, the answer is no. We're going to talk just about spouses benefits in just the next couple of slides. And so this was a perfect question. So with spousal benefits, the most you can qualify off of a spouse is up to 50%. Now, who qualifies? You have to be married at least one calendar year. We do honor all types of marriages. So same sex, opposite sex, as long as it's a marriage of one calendar year. When you think of spousal benefits, think of it as we only pay the financially dependent spouse, meaning the spouse did not work outside of the home at all, or the spouse worked outside of the home, but maybe earned very little compared to the retiree. So if you're married and you currently both work, most of the time, are you going to get a spousal benefit? The answer is no. Most of the time, you'll get your own retirement and he or she will get their own retirement. But the most you can qualify is 50% off of a spouse. So if I'm eligible for $2,000 a month, if my husband is eligible for less than 1,000 off of his own earnings record, he could get some money off of me. If he's eligible for 2,000 or more, he's not going to get anything off of me. If he's eligible for $1,500, that's more than half. He's not going to get any benefits off me. So again, and we do look at all types of pensions. So if you are listening today and you say, well, I didn't work under Social Security, but I worked under state teachers retirement in Ohio, or PERS, or police and fire, or SERS, I worked and paid into those types of programs. Can I get half? The answer is generally no. We are going to look at what you would be eligible for, or what you could have been eligible for if you cashed in from one of those programs, and we will reduce your benefit accordingly. So be aware, spouses, if we can pay you, we absolutely will. In general, you have to be married at least 1 calendar year to the current. If it's the ex, it's a marriage of 10 years. Your benefit needs to be less than half of their full benefit. This is where it's very helpful to have that My Social Security account. So you can look at your full benefit, look at their full benefit, and then you'll have a better picture. Anything that we pay a spouse does not reduce the worker. So if my husband is eligible for $2,000, if Social Security can pay me $1,000, they'll pay me $1,000. It doesn't cut into anything. He also doesn't get extra if there's nothing payable to a spouse. To qualify off of a spouse, they have to be receiving a Social Security retirement benefit. So that was the question. Yes, they have to have received. Now, there are some differences for divorced spouses. So you can qualify off of a divorced spouse if you have a qualified marriage. A qualified marriage is a marriage of at least 10 calendar years. If you were contacting us and saying, I was married at least 10 years, can I qualify off of my ex? We're going to check many things. We're going to see, are you at least age 62? Were you married at least 10 years? Are they at least age 62? They do not have to be receiving a benefit, but they do need to be at least age 62. You need to be entitled to more money off of their earnings record than you can get off of your own. If you are eligible for your own Social Security, you will always receive that benefit first for retirement and spousal retirement. So I can't say, I don't want to take my retirement, I just want my spousal benefit. That will not work. You have to file off of your own benefit, and then you can potentially receive some extra dollars off of a spouse if we can pay you those extra dollars. The key with exes, the marriage has to have lasted at least 10 years. If I am not married now, but my ex remarried, can I still receive off of his benefit? Absolutely, as long as I'm not remarried. So he could be remarried 25 times, probably not, but if he was, that's okay, as long as I'm not remarried. Now, if I was married at least 10 years before, and now I'm remarried, can I qualify off of my ex? Not while the new marriage is intact. So if the new marriage ends in divorce or by passing of the new spouse, then Social Security could look at the eligibility off of the ex. Children's benefits. So we've got your retirement. Contact us 3 to 4 months before you're ready, online or by phone. Spousal benefits, same thing. Contact us 3 to 4 months before you're ready, online or by phone. We're going to look at all of those factors to see where we can pay you the most money. What about kids? Now, kids can qualify off of a parent that is receiving Social Security disability or Social Security retirement. Or if a child's parent has passed away, then a child can qualify based on that as well, as long as there's a work history. So the work history it might be that 10 years of work. But if you're a younger individual that passes away, as an example, somebody that's 22 or 23 that passes away, they didn't have generally speaking, they're not going to have 10 years of work. Can we pay survivor benefits? Yes. The minimum amount for survivor benefits for us to pay is a work history of 1.5 years. That would be for very young workers, that 22 or 23-year-old individual that happens to pass away. So I always encourage people, if someone's parent passes away, even if you didn't think they had a very good work history or they're very young, please get in touch with Social Security and have us check their eligibility. Children qualify up until they turn age 18 if they are still in high school, up until 19, or if they are still in high school, up to 19, or whenever they graduate, whichever occurs first. Now, can benefits continue beyond age 18? Yes, they can, if that child also is disabled by Social Security standards. The disability has to have occurred prior to age 22. So what is the definition for disability? For Social Security disability, we are saying for someone that is 18 or older, you have an injury, illness, or condition that has lasted or is expected to last at least 1 year, or it will result in death, and it prevents you from doing any kind of work. So if someone meets that very strict criteria of disability and their parent is on retirement or disability, or their parent has passed away, they can receive what is called disabled adult child benefits, assuming their disability occurred prior to their 22nd birthday and they remain unmarried. So people always say sometimes marriage will affect your eligibility from Social Security. It can with disabled adult child benefits. It also can for our need-based program known as SSI. So it's always a good idea to check with Social Security if income is an issue prior to getting married sometimes. How does Social Security determine a benefit? We do look at your top 35 years of earnings for a retirement benefit. For younger people, for disability, or younger people that pass away, we look at a much shorter range if they are younger individuals. But for all individuals that are going to receive retirement based on age 62 or older, we are always going to use your 35 highest years of earnings under the Social Security program. So there's no limit. You can work until you're over 100. There's no limit on taxes either, though. You'll continue to pay even if you are receiving Social Security, as long as you are working. Retirement estimator, this is helpful for people that are thinking of taking retirement at different ages. Now, again, we did just update our Social Security, the Social Security statement online at socialsecurity.gov. And when you're looking at your statement, it actually now shows you year by year, age 62, age 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, what you would receive by year. But some people want to start their money at 64 and 6 months or 62 and a half. You can actually dial it down month by month, because every month you wait to start your Social Security retirement, your benefit goes up approximately 1/2 of 1%. So again, if you don't want to do all those math calculations, you can let the calculator do it for you. Just make sure you're putting in the right numbers. So this is something helpful for you to use. We also have special calculators if you are affected by offset provisions like the windfall elimination provision or government pension offset. So if you've worked and paid into something else like State Teachers Ohio, or Ohio PERS, or something like that, police and fire, we have special calculators for you as well. The ways to apply for Social Security: you can apply for retirement, disability, spousal benefits, even Medicare online. Our extra assistance program for prescription drugs, you can do that online. 3 to 4 months before you want something and it's realistic, or at the time of injury if it's for disability. For survivor benefits, though, you cannot do those by online. You have to do survivor benefits. So if I'm a widow or a widower, or my kid's father passes away or something like that, I would have to contact either the General 800 number, which is listed here, or my local office and set up a telephone appointment. So they are, you cannot file for survivor benefits online. Many times you cannot file for our SSI, our need-based program, online. All the other programs you can file for online if you wish. If you say online is not for me, that's okay. We can still do service, provide service for you by telephone, doing a telephone appointment for retirement, spousal benefits, kids benefits, things like that. So online or telephone, whatever your preference is, and we will contact you based on a time and day that's convenient. So when you contact the office, they'll give you some options and you set up either a morning appointment or an afternoon appointment. This is just a quick picture of our website so you can see what it looks like. I often get phone calls about people that say, I ordered a Social Security card online and it cost money. Social Security cards don't cost money. So if you are at a site that is charging you, it is not our site. Please, please, please do not pay for a Social Security card, because while those sites are not ethical, they are unfortunately not illegal. They are not illegal because there is a disclaimer somewhere that I've seen that'll tell you you can probably get the same service for free at the Social Security office. Also, they will not actually help you get a Social Security card. They are just going to gather all the documents that I shared with you and help you send it in and charge you a lot of money. So always remember, Social Security cards are free of charge. Every person is limited to 10 Social Security cards per name per lifetime. If you need more than that, there is a possibility you would be charged, but that would be through your local office. And those are on a case-by-case basis. Most people, you're only going to have 1 or 2 cards and hopefully not lose them. So quickly on survivor benefits. So who qualifies for survivor benefits? So some of you may be tuning in today and you say 62 is a far ways away. I understand 62 is a far ways, well, sometimes far from me. But you have some peace of mind knowing that if you're working and paying in and you're in your 20s or 30s or 40s, if something happened to you and you have young children, they will qualify for a monthly benefit, which is equivalent to about 75% of what Social Security would pay you at your full retirement age. Who is your child? Your biological child, adoptive child, sometimes a stepchild, and even a grandchild can qualify for Social Security survivor benefits. And they receive those up until they turn age 18 if they're still in high school, up till 19 or graduate, potentially forever if they are disabled. So survivor children can receive up to 75% of your full benefit. Surviving spouses can receive up to between 71.5% to 100% of a worker's benefit. How do we determine that? If you are a disabled widow or widower between 50 and 60, it's a flat rate of 71.5% if your husband or wife had passed away. For survivor benefits, you have to be married at least 9 months for those survivor benefits, unless it is an ex-spouse situation, then it would be back to the 10-year marriage. We pay young spouses if your husband or wife passed away and you were 25 or 30 years old or 40, you have a young child that's under the age of 16 or a child that is permanently disabled. We can also pay those young survivors, young mothers or young father benefits. Again, assuming the worker has worked enough, paid into the program, there is money available for their children. There is money available for their surviving spouses. We have some questions coming in. Let's see, how far in advance did you apply for Social Security? So for Social Security, again, 3 to 4 months before you want something and it's realistic. For Social Security disability, we would say at the point of injury, you would contact Social Security. If you are contacting us for SSI, our need-based program, specifically if your child has been disabled since birth, but you were told that you make too much money and they don't qualify until they are age 18, you would contact us the month they turn age 18. So it depends on the situation, 3 to 4 months before eligibility for generally most benefits though. Moving on. So just real quickly, for survivor benefits, we do encourage you always to contact Social Security if your husband or wife passes away at any age. There's a one-time $255 payment that we want to pay to that surviving spouse. Marriage has to have lasted at least 1 day to qualify. For regular survivor benefits, let's say you're 50 and your husband passes away, you're still working, you're not disabled. We can start giving you estimates on what you would be eligible for as early as age 60. So notice the difference. Retirement, the earliest you can qualify for is age 62. Survivor benefits as early as age 60. Unless you're disabled, then it's age 50. You could start your survivor benefit up at age 60 and save your own retirement until age 70. So see the difference. When both spouses are living, you take your own retirement, your spouse takes their own retirement. You might qualify for a spousal benefit if there's anything extra, but you always qualify off of your own record first. With survivor benefits, it is different. You could start that survivor benefit up first, delay your own retirement to receive that extra 24 to 32% from Social Security. Now, if you're tuning in today and you say, I get a pension from state teachers, PERS, SERS, police and fire, can I qualify for any survivor benefits? It depends. If it's state teachers, probably not, just because most state teachers have very high benefits. But we will look at your gross benefit from any of those programs, and we will count 2/3 of it. If 2/3 is higher than anything that we can pay you as a survivor, then you will not get any ongoing monthly benefits. You are still entitled to the one-time $255. You are still entitled to Medicare off of that spouse if you need it. Again, the lump sum death payment is available for all survivor or all surviving spouses, not the divorced ones. If there is not a surviving spouse when someone passes away, we can pay that payment out to children that are under the age of 19 still in high school, or children that are disabled prior to their 22nd birthday receiving Social Security. If you say, well, my mom passed away, she was 88 and I'm 62. Can I get anything? The answer is no. So we pay surviving spouses or young children or children that are disabled, that one-time payment. If there are a few children, then they split it. So it's not $255 each. We know it's a small benefit, but it's still available. We do encourage you to contact us. You can only file for that by telephone. So some of you may be listening today or tuning in and saying, I would like my Social Security retirement, but I still want to work. Well, there are earnings limits for Social Security retirement, for Social Security spousal retirement, for Social Security widows, widowers, for children's benefits, and there are also limits for disability. You can work, but the earnings limit, if you are under your full retirement age, which is somewhere between 66 and 67, is $19,560 in earnings. So you could work a job making under $19,560 and receive your reduced checks from Social Security. If you are going to make more than $19,560, we are going to reduce your monthly benefit $1 for every 2 that you're over the limit. What that generally means, if you're going to make in excess of $40,000 or $50,000 when you're under your full retirement age, we are probably not going to pay you any monthly checks. Working wages or self-employment net profit is the figure that we are going to be looking for. So if you have pensions, savings, IRAs, inheritances, lottery winnings, none of that counts for the earnings limit. We are just looking at your working wages. If your spouse is continuing to work, make lots of money, but they're not receiving a benefit, you still could start your Social Security as long as you are going to earn under that amount. You will notice the year you turn your full retirement age, there is a much higher earnings limit. So if you were turning your full benefit age this year in 2022, let's say in June, if you decided to start your benefits up now in the month of January, as long as you were going to make under $51,960 between January 1st and May 31st, 2022, we can pay you all of your checks. Keeping in mind, if you start your benefits even 1 month early, there is going to be a slight reduction. If you are listening today and you're not sure when to start your money and you're turning your full retirement age this year, I would very much encourage you to give us a phone call or to check out the website online, run the math figures, see if it makes sense to start them up a little early. If you do not want any reduction, you will want to wait until your full benefit age. If your full benefit age is 67, you could start your benefits up. Then you could work and make $1 million a day. It would not reduce or affect what you receive under Social Security. Now, when we talk with you or when you file online, if you tell us you're going to make under the $19,560, we believe you. But if things change, then you need to let us know, because if you make more money and you do not report it to us, you will end up being overpaid. And nobody likes to get overpaid from Social Security. Like any other bill, we expect it to come back. So moving on to disability. Again, this is just a quick Cliff Notes version of all the different benefits Social Security has. The definition of disability, I said it earlier, for adults, age 18 and over, we are looking at age, education, experience. We are looking at your conditions, physical, mental, or a combination of the two. We are looking at, do you have an injury, illness, or condition that has lasted or is expected to last at least 1 year, or it will result in death, and it prevents you from doing any kind of substantial work. If you meet that criteria, you will be eligible for Social Security Disability or SSI, which is our need-based disability program. Now, if you're listening today and you say, but I have a child that is disabled since birth, what does Social Security look at then? Under the age of 18, we are looking at basically the same definition, but instead of work, we are looking at how their condition is severe and how they are impaired compared to their peers of their age group. Are they on IEPs? Are they in special classes? Are they very behind? We're looking at all of those. We're also with SSI, because SSI is a need-based program, we're looking at household income. So if you have contacted Social Security and we're told, no, your child doesn't qualify, and you say, but my child is permanently blind or permanently hearing impaired, or my child has Down syndrome. Yes, they do qualify. Yes, they have a valid disability. But if your income is too high, you will want to contact Social Security when that child turns age 18. At age 18, even if that child is living with you, we do not count parents' assets or parents' income once that child turns age 18. What can you do to prepare for that? Gather medical evidence, medical documents, school records, IEPs, anything that confirms diagnosis. The month that child turns age 18, you can call the local office and set up a telephone appointment to file for SSI. We do screen for all types of benefits. The definition for disability is the same for both our Social Security Disability and our SSI program. The basic difference is Social Security Disability is based off someone has worked and paid into our program. Your benefits are based off of that. SSI It doesn't matter if there has been work. You just have to meet our medical criteria and be need-based. By need-based, basically a person has less than about $840 a month in income. So if they have more than that, they're probably not going to qualify. Every case is on a case-by-case basis. So again, we do encourage people, please contact us if you're unable to work or your child is behind. It doesn't hurt to contact us and have us work out either a formal decision or talk with you and see if you meet our criteria. With general disability, it is going to be you contact Social Security the last day of work. So if I have a disability and I'm working in spite of that, as many people do, but something happens, my job ends or my disability gets worse, at that point, you are going to want to contact Social Security. Many people think if you are on disability or SSI, you cannot work. You can work. The earnings limits there are limits, just like there are limits for retirement, although they are different. So we encourage people, yes, if you want to work and you're on disability, that is okay. Just make sure you are reporting that, sending in your pay stubs to the local Social Security office on a monthly basis so that no overpayments occur. You can always call us. Every situation is different. So I do encourage people, don't just listen to buddies and friends. What works for some doesn't work for all. And because every situation truly is different. Okay, moving on. So we've answered some questions throughout. I did want to make sure that we cover a couple of things. Reminder, Social Security cards are always free. If you are on a website that is charging for a Social Security card, please get off that website, go to socialsecurity.gov. For all people that are over the age of 18, you can order that replacement through your My Social Security account as long as you have one. If you do not have an account or you do not want to do it online, that's okay. You can mail the documents or drop them off at your local office, assuming they have a drop box. During the Dropbox hours, every office is a little different across the country with that. And you make sure that you're also sending in appropriate ID. Again, right now, we are accepting a variety of documents that we usually do not accept. So if you are in need of a Social Security card, this is probably the easiest time, best time to get that replaced because we are honoring all those different forms of ID. Let's see. Next, we have a question coming in. Can parents report income earning as rep payee online for SSI? So if a child, so there's with SSI, generally the person is going to have to be age 18 or older to be able to do that online reporting. If the child has their own income, there is an ability to call in estimated wages. You can fax in the wages, but if the child is 6 or 7 or under 18, they do not have that Social Security account. So the parents will have to send in either by mail their pay stubs or fax them to the local office. At this time, there's not an ability to do that. When you are representative payee, though, you do have a representative payee portal through your My Social Security account. So I would encourage you to check there because we continuously update what you can do. Many times you can pull up your notices that are sent, but again, it's on a very individual basis. Social Security is currently paying over 70 million checks a month. That's a lot of different benefits between retirement, spousal, survivor benefits, disability, SSI. That's a lot of different, and everybody's situation really is different. So I always encourage people, check your online account first, see what your capabilities are, because again, we do update those very frequently, what you can do online. In general, anyone under the age of 18, they're going to be very limited. There's not going to be a whole lot that can be done online because they cannot have access to the portal. Why can they not have access? We have partnered with the credit bureaus. In general, most people under the age of 18 do not have a credit history. Next, any other questions? Let's see. Who can be named as representative payee? Wanted to be clear on who is appropriate. That's a great question. So let's talk about what a representative payee actually is and who needs one. So someone that receives Social Security or SSI, but is not able to handle their own funds, needs someone appointed as the representative payee through Social Security. This would be all people under the age of 18 generally. They're going to need someone that handles their money. So if I was my child's payee, it would say Erin Thompson for whatever my child is. My responsibility to report all changes, like if they move, go to jail, pass away, work, get married, things like that. Other people that need payees are over the age of 18, but they don't understand the value of money, or maybe they have been declared incompetent by the courts. If you are declared incompetent by the courts, we cannot pay someone direct. So we have to appoint someone as their payer source. Who would that payer be? Generally, it's going to be someone that is close to them, mom or dad, husband, wife, brother, sister. Sometimes that's not a good choice for a variety of reasons. Maybe they don't live with their parents. Maybe their parents need a payee. Maybe their parents aren't good with money. Then we would choose an organization to assist someone if we don't have an appropriate person to handle their benefits. So we do look on a case-by-case basis. Ultimately, we want to pay a person direct if we can. If they're under 18, we cannot. If they have a legal guardian, we cannot pay them direct. So we look at people in their families, if there's good choices, and if there's not good choices, then we start to look at agencies. We did add something very recently. It's called advanced designation, where you can actually go online through your My Social Security account. So for people 18 and over, you can list your top 3 choices if you became unable to manage your own funds. List who you would like us to contact. I always encourage when people contact us, if you have a new application or something, let us know also who you would not like us to choose to help you with your money, because ultimately, a representative payee, their responsibility is to make sure that all bills are paid, food, shelter, clothing, to make sure that anything left over is used for the individual. And they're doing this out of the goodness of their hearts. Basically, there's no funds available for them. They don't get paid to be the representative payee. So there's a lot of trust involved. And we want to make sure that the person is getting all of the use of their funds, even though maybe they can't manage their own funds. We want to make sure they're getting the use of all of their funds every month. Next question. Okay, so those are 2 questions. Any other questions that people have? We have a couple more minutes, and happy to entertain those. I do appreciate everyone for logging in today. When we get finished, I'm going to send out just a kind of a quick summary guide to the Ability Center, and they can provide to anyone that was on the call today about how to replace that Social Security card. I'll have the links listed. I'll have a link listed for the Social Security card application. If you do need that paper application, it's an SS5. And also a list of all the documents that we are currently accepting during the pandemic. Again, we appreciate all of you for tuning in, and I do hope that you have learned something specific for guardianship. Can you explain the process to change the representative payee? Great question. So in general, if a person has a court-appointed legal guardian, we would want to make the court-appointed legal guardian, in most cases, the representative payee. In the event that the guardian does not want to be payee, they want an agency or a nursing home or something like that, then we can have that facility handle the funds. In the event that we find that the guardian didn't make a good choice, then there's a couple of things. We can change the guardian, or we can't change the guardian, the court does that. We can change the payee if the guardian wasn't doing their payee responsibilities to an organization or to someone else. Generally, that happens when we are notified by some type of organization or entity that someone's not using someone's funds right. And it is very important. You are the eyes and ears for Social Security. If you know of someone that is misusing someone else's Social Security funds, those funds are for that individual, for their basic needs, for their food, their shelter, their clothing. If someone is managing their funds and they're not doing a good job, they're not doing what needs to be done, please, you can send an anonymous notification to Social Security by mail, by email, on our website, by calling us, and we will do an investigation and we will change a payee. So a payer's responsibility is to make sure that that person's food, shelter, clothing are met. And if they're not doing that, it's very sad in those cases, but we want to make sure that we change the payee. So keep that in mind. And always feel free to contact us either by phone or online, whatever works best for you. Any other questions? Are we good? Okay, so we are wrapping up. I am going to, again, thanks everyone for tuning in. I will send something out to the Ability Center and they can make sure that they send out to everyone that tuned in today. And I encourage you always to make sure that you have set up that My Social Security account at socialsecurity.gov and continue to watch. We have updated our coronavirus pandemic protocols. They continue to update very, very frequently to keep up to date on the most on what happens next. Thank you so much. Have a great day.